a lot of people write out their mission statement or their vision, and I do it a little bit different. I have it, I break things out personally and professionally, and then I make a big overall arching, like long-winded, I guess you could say, almost like, it's a couple paragraphs, mission statement of what I want to accomplish and where, what I want my life to be like. But this is something that you need to read every night. It should be something I think that you read actually every day, but look at it at minimum every 90 days and look at the actions that you are doing. How are you tracking? What are you doing to track your actions? And what are the results that you're getting? And take time to reflect on the year and what you wanted to accomplish, what you did accomplish, and where do you want to see yourself in 90 days, 180 days. And when you're sitting here 1 year from now, what do you want that to look like?
Welcome to the Grownlearn Podcast, your go-to source for expertise and insights on a variety of topics: business growth, leadership, technology, personal and business finance, and more. We've curated a vast network of business experts ready to address your company's most pressing challenges. From corporate growth strategy to leadership, marketing strategy, sales strategy, branding, customer relations, technology, AI, IT security, and beyond, we connect you to the best experts for your needs. Reach out to us for more information or schedule a call at grownlearn.org to explore how we can support you. Talking about pushing the pedal to the metal to the end of the year, I'm speaking to Jaclyn Strominger, a high achievement coach. With great pleasure, I'm welcoming you today, Jaclyn. We have a lot in common, and I'm very curious and very excited about unpacking all you have to say about motivation, vision, about achieving our goals. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine. Well, not all. You have some as well. It's good that we're starting with a good mood. Jaclyn,
yes.
Tell us a bit about you. I'm going to start asking my guests from now on to talk about themselves as well, because everybody's curious. Who is this person talking? Tell us about you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, who am I and why should you even listen to either of us or whatever?
Exactly,
right. So again, my name is Jaclyn Strominger, but I am a high performance coach. And I got here, and a lot of us, I think, get to where we go because we saw something in ourselves that we wanted, didn't have it, and went after it and became it. And so my journey to this point started, when I graduated college, and I went and got my first job, I shouldn't say job. It was the first placement in my career, because I think there's a difference.
Of course.
And I was in magazine publishing. It was what I wanted to do. It was my dream to be in magazine publishing. So I was like, yes, I've gone after what I wanted and I've gotten it. And I was thinking about this whole stepping stone of where I wanted to go. And my first foray into my first career, placement, I remember I had interviewed with this one woman and she was amazing. And then I get to and this is I had interviewed during my senior year in college. And so I was starting this, after get my first job in my career. And I go to the office and I am shocked because the person who I thought was going to be my boss was not my boss. And I was with this other woman and nothing, she was horrible. She was horrible. She was a horrible mentor. She was a horrible person to have as my first leader. She didn't lead. I don't even think she knew what she was doing when I think back. But that was the start of a journey of almost searching for the right leader, the right person who I could learn from and emulate. And it was this search I was on. And we don't leave companies because of money. We leave because of the management. So I kept searching for this ideal person in my brain. And, I was doing amazing in my career. And so going on, whatever, fast forward, I get married, we move back. I'm from Massachusetts. We were living in New York City, have my kid, start having kids. And then I'm working at this other company in magazine publishing, but in a sales role, digital publisher. And I am pregnant with my second. And the I'm telling I was VP of sales and I'm telling the SVP of sales that I'm pregnant. And he says, "Oh my God, this is why the CEO doesn't like hiring women." Now I probably could have sued, but whatever. It's like he
Yeah.
said, she said.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, ugh. And I remember, I mean, it struck me as it's being hurtful, right? So
Mm.
have my kid, I go back to work, blah, blah, blah. And then, my child's getting older. I'm driving my kids to school one day to drop them off. And I used to love this time. And it's like all these experiences of like they just hit me like a flood. Like that I kept hearing that's why they don't like hiring women. And somebody saying to me, that's not great for your career. And I and and all of a sudden I'm like, what is my career? Where do I want to go? Like I truly felt at that moment in time I was existing, not living.
Mm.
And I kept thinking, oh my God, I have forgotten about what I've wanted. I've forgotten to go after things. I have forgotten, which is it's a great time this is going to go. I have forgotten to write down goals. I've forgotten, and I don't mean uh, goals are based on things that you want to achieve. I forgot to write down things that I wanted to go after. Where was I going? And I remember driving home after dropping them off and just sitting at my desk and writing everything that I wanted. Where did I want to be? What was my vision? What did I want in my life? What did I want for my family? What did I want for my career? And that was the turning point for me where it was a huge change and shift. And I started going after things and redoing those things. And I ended up getting my certification to become a coach because I switched careers and I was coaching people and I found I loved that. I loved being able to help people not do what I did, which was get stuck, but like get to people before they got stuck, but be able to help them rise up and go after things and go from existing to living and thriving. And that change for me was so big for my family. I mean, we ended up moving across the country. I was living in Massachusetts and we moved to Reno, Nevada. Who would have ever thunk? Um, my kids saw a huge change and it's it's really amazing how we are day to day. It really has a huge impact. Like, I say this a lot, our vibe attracts our tribe, but so it does in our family. And so it made a huge shift. I mean, and we went from, I think, as a family from existing people to thriving people.
Mhm.
And so now I get to help people. I get to help people lead. I get to help people have, you know, change the culture of their companies and have great teams and thrive and increase performance. And it's like that MasterCard moment when you see people like making these changes and because they want to, and I'm by their side and we're watching them soar.
Mhm. Fascinating story. I've spoken to quite a few women entrepreneurs as well, and I think there was some statistic that the majority of women switch their corporate jobs to like working for themselves at the time of pregnancy because it's a time of re-evaluation of priorities. And it seems that this is what happened to you at this morning when you were driving your kids to school, like a moment of re-evaluation of your priorities. Yeah.
It was a reevaluation, not just of my priorities, but it was really about I decided I wanted to go out on my own, but at the time too, I kept thinking where I am, the company that I was with was not a company that really got to know me and got to know what I wanted and where I wanted to go. And that to me is something that is so important that I love helping people do that for their employees. Get to know your people and help your people thrive because we're corporate America and we all have this, but it should be able to be flexible for women when they want to have kids or men when men and women, there should be maternity and paternity leave, right?
Mm.
It shouldn't be this stigma. And it to me, if we can, and this is, I guess, my dream, if we can have a bunch and create a lot of leaders who understand that we are all human. And yes, we work hard, but sometimes the 9 to 5 is not the right time. It's not the right schedule. As long as people are getting things done and working their best ability and knowing that they're appreciated and feeling that they know that there is some place for them to go. There is a growth plan. There's a plan for learning. They may not want to have that feeling of leaving because they're in something, they're in a career or they're working for something where they do feel valued. And I think that was the thing for me was that my company didn't care about me. They didn't think and say, "Hey, Jaclyn, what do you want? Where do you want to go?" Companies it's all about leading people to level up. Dale Carnegie has always said you want to hire people who are smarter so they can eventually take your place. And why is that? So that you can move up. Is a great leader will find and pull out the strengths of the people that are in their fold and help them rise up. And maybe it's rising up and out, but that's what a great leader should do. Maybe you reach a point within a company and you're like, you know what? It might be like, oh my God, you know what? You are meant for more. We don't have that here. But you know what? My friend, my other colleague at company X, they are looking for somebody. It would be that great fit. So make it happen.
Mhm. So Jaclyn, who are you working with actually? Is it the individuals? Do they hire you as a personal coach, or do you work with companies and with company leadership to transform their leadership style or company culture?
I actually work with both.
Mhm.
So I work with a lot of people who, the individual high performer who has their own business, who is like, I want more and I want to get more done and I want to rise up. And then I'm working with companies because they want to become better leaders and help their teams thrive and get more, I hate to say get more out of them, but get the best out of them and help them really see how to make a great environment where people are thriving.
Mhm.
Because,
And
I was gonna say individuals, like when I'm working with individuals, a lot of times it's like they want to be thriving too. It's finding the leader within themselves,
mhm.
and that's what we're bringing out.
Yeah, so regarding the work with leadership in companies, I find and from all the people that I've spoken to on this podcast, everybody says if you don't have the management buyout, and that's like management, top management, and not simply like divisional
Yeah.
management, it's hard to change anything, and it all starts with values and with culture. So if you're
Correct.
really training or coaching some middle management that wants to improve the environment in their team, there's only that much that you could potentially achieve, right? So what are you focusing on in this case? Let's say you're working with middle management and they want to improve their team performance and um, the same things that you're coaching them on.
Yeah.
But just from that middle position, what are the things that you're pulling, the triggers that you're pulling?
So I do something called, it's something very interesting. I do something called an energy leadership index assessment. And we actually use this assessment to find out where people are attitudinally, and it's really phenomenal. It's very different, and it helps people see where they're working every, day in and day out. Um, do they look at, both on under pressure and under stress and just fluctuating every day. And it really helps people see sometimes where they may not realize um, where their minds are going and where they are attitudinally. And so when we shift those things, it's really amazing when we start to bring that out to people to cultivate more of a together team approach. And so what I'm doing with people is we are really honing in on that leader's vision, not just for their team, but their personal vision. We're pulling out, yes, we have to bring in the vision of the company, but we're bringing out the vision of the team. And we're helping them discover the vision and mission for every person on their team. So we really dive into that. We dive into, and even you just said values. What's the achievement codes that they like? Where are they? What are they living by? What do they want to be? And a thriving team, I look at teams within a company almost as many companies. You've got a team, and that team has a culture. And yes, it actually can impact the rest of the company if other people are saying, "Oh my God, that team is thriving. What are they doing?" And a lot of times why a leader will hire me to bring out the best in their team is because they want to have growth, and they haven't been able to get past or move up. And so they want to know what they can do to level up. Well, it's also leveling up their team. And it's amazing when we pull things together, how the team bubbles up, how they start reaching more goals and reaching numbers and actually, seeing them thriving. It's great. And then seeing where they go themselves, because they all find their mission and their dreams. And this right now, because we're getting towards, the end of the year. And I would say this is something that you have to do every 90 days. Look at your vision, look at your mission, look at what you're doing every single day, both personally and business wise. What's your team function? If you're an entrepreneur, what are you doing? If you've got a small company, where are you? What is that mission? Not just for the next year, but think huge. Like, what's the legacy, and how do you want to think about, you know, when somebody's going to read your eulogy, what do you want them to say? Like, think that far out, looking back, and what type of impact do you want to be making? And then let's start making actionable items to reach that legacy.
You mentioned this tool that you're using is called energy assessment. What was it
Yes.
called?
The Energy Leadership Index Assessment, otherwise known as the ELI.
Is this your proprietary tool that you're using?
No, actually, so the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, IPEC, is where I got my certification for coaching. They actually developed it, and you have to be certified to use it. And so it's a great tool. Um, and I love doing it. I do a 2-part session with people where they take the assessment. It takes about an hour for someone to go through the assessment. And then we do 2 sessions. It's a 90-minute complete debrief after. And people are like, 90 minutes. And I'm like, yes, it takes a while. I always say, bring a box of tissues, because you're never going to, things may come out. And then we do a follow-up to start creating actionable items that we want to work towards. Sometimes it's really amazing. It pulls things out in people that they really did not see. But it's also usually dead on accurate.
Yeah, because I've had a few psychologists, and I remember one pair talking about the team dynamics family dynamics in teams. So basically,
Yeah.
people exhibiting the same family dynamics. Very interesting. So you wanted to talk about what actions we can do and how to end the year thriving.
Yes. Yeah.
What are some things we could do, by the end of the year and in general? You mentioned every 90 days we should be going through this process.
Yeah. So I talk about MMA, right? So the MMA stands for measure, monitor, and adjust because it's like we've got to be fighting, but it's so we have to be, this is the perfect time right now. And again, to do this every 90 days, look at your vision and mission. It should be something. A lot of people write out their mission statement or their vision, and I do it a little bit different. I have it, I break things out personally and professionally, and then I make a big overall arching, like long-winded, I guess you could say, almost like, it's a couple paragraphs, mission statement of what I want to accomplish and where, what I want my life to be like. But this is something that you need to read every night. It should be something I think that you read actually every day, but look at it at minimum every 90 days and look at the actions that you are doing. How are you tracking? What are you doing to track your actions? And what are the results that you're getting? And take time to reflect on the year and what you wanted to accomplish, what you did accomplish, and where do you want to see yourself in 90 days, 180 days. And when you're sitting here 1 year from now, what do you want that to look like? What do you want it to look like 2 years from now and beyond? And really spend the time to dig deep into what you are doing and if it's following what you really want. We always have to be measuring, monitoring. And if what you are doing is not getting you where you are, then we need to adjust. Not to look at things from a standpoint of failure, but I always say start taking a list and write down all the activities that you are doing. If you have not done an activity tracker for your week or 2 weeks, take a minute. I've got one. If somebody wants a free one, daily activity tracker. Literally every hour on the hour, what are you doing? Track it for 2 weeks. It's going to create awareness in what you're doing. And are you doing what you should be doing? You might realize that, are you spending too much time connecting with the wrong people, not the right people? Are you spending too much time checking your stocks? Like, where are you spending your time? And really look at that. And if you need to adjust, focusing on the right things that are going to keep you focused on that big, audacious dream.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned something before we started recording, which was that people usually drop their goals sometime between the 22nd of January and sometime in February. Mm-hmm. Some statistics that's actually been
Right.
provided on that. Is there anything that people can do to circumvent this trend, or is it?
Yes. Yeah. So why do people, so a lot of times people have a goal, and you probably have seen this. Setting a goal without a purpose is like saying, I, I want to drink a cup of coffee, right? You have to have a good reason behind it. So weight loss is obviously one of the biggest things that people decide that they set a goal, like, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? So we need to make these things measurable. We also have to make it so that, people talk about SMART, right? I always say we have to aim, because what is right for you might not be right for me. So we have to be something that I really want to do and it's achievable for me. And it's like the Goldilocks. It's not too little, it's not too big, it's just right. So to make it so that you set a goal and you don't just drop it, you have to be vested in it. Like really know why you want to reach that goal. And it has to be something that and I don't always like the word to say like your why has to be so big. The dream has to be big. It's the want has to be really big. And the outcome of reaching that goal has to be something that you just want so much that nothing is going to stop or get in your way. And so it might be that it's you want to lose weight. But why do you want to lose weight? Is it so that you can live longer, so that you can see your kids, get married? You know, is it so that you can fit into a certain outfit for a certain event? Maybe that's big, but what is it going to be that is going to be like, no matter what, I've got to make this happen? Like, it's like I don't want to say the breaking point. A lot of people put that line in the sand when they realize what they're doing is not having the impact that they want. So what impact do you want to have? Write that down. And it should be something that you look at every single day. When you get up in the morning, it's like, I am losing weight I am doing this because I want and dream. This is my impact. That you see it every day. And so that you know that when you look at your calendar and you look at the things that you are doing, that it's, what's on your week, that it's focused on that big, audacious dream and nothing's stopping you. Just, again, not,
Let's address this big audacious dream, because I have worked with quite a few people on my other platform, Heal and Learn, where we talk about mind programming and reprogramming and stuff like that. And it seems that a lot of people simply don't have the ability, or they think at the moment, right now, they don't have the ability to conjure up a big dream. They say, I don't desire anything. It's just that the lack of desire is there. So yes, it of course, with the reinforcement through repetition and seeing it everywhere, and by making plans, you can increase this desire. But to begin with, people are confused. They don't know what they want. And they can't conjure up the desire. So what do you do in such cases? I'm also curious.
yeah.
Your perspective. Yeah.
You know what? I work with my clients and I have a list of questions that I want to ask them. So it starts with, you know, and I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I'll go back to writing your eulogy, right? So I ask people to write their eulogy. Like when somebody's up there writing about you, what do you want them to say? And then I want to go back and say, okay, so, you know, if there is somebody out there whose life, a lot of people like, oh my God, they love looking at, people who are famous. I could give two whatever about people who are famous but other people love looking at other people who are famous. So who's somebody whose life that you look at that you really like, or that you like, oh my God, I wish I could have that. Well, okay, well, what is that wish? What do you like that they have? So we start asking questions, do you like, where do you see yourself? Do you want to be living where you are for the rest of your life? Well, where do you want to live? Where do you like, what are the activities that you like to do? Do you like to travel? So I start asking questions about, where they are in their current life, things that they like to do. What are the things that they enjoy? What could they, if they had all the time in the world, what would they want to do? Some people might want to cook. Do you want to be a better cook? What would you want to learn? So we start asking questions about people, where they are in their life, where do they want to do, what do they enjoy, where do they see themselves? Are they happy in their with their family? Are they happy in their relationships? Where do they rank those relationships? Where do they rank their career? Where do they rank, their family relationships? So we go through, what I call the life wheel, and we look at those things. And then where are they ranking them? How do they want to make them better? Maybe they're all 10s. They're living a perfect life. But where do they see themselves? If they are super happy where they are right now, what would be one thing that would make it a little bit better? So we have to really dive deep into that. And some people, when they can't figure out what they want, sometimes it's also coming out because they're afraid to say it. And so sometimes it's pulling that out of people. And sometimes we have to ask questions. So if anybody's stuck, I'm sure you may have questions too. I'm happy to give people a list of questions to ask themselves.
Mm-hmm. Do you find in your work that there may be some subconscious childhood blocks that people are struggling to resolve, and that's why they're unable to come up with a strong desire or a goal that fascinates them?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. We don't necessarily, I personally don't like to focus on things in the past, but we use the past to pull out the things that are blocking, right? And how do we get past those things? Is it, and why? Why is that? Why are people, why is that a trigger for you? And so it is sometimes that something in the past, or it's something in the past, or it's a limiting belief that they have been living with because of something that was told to them when they were younger, and they can't get past it and they don't realize it.
Fantastic. Jaclyn, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Again, right now, the biggest thing we need to be doing is really looking and spending time to reflect. And as I was saying, measure, monitor, and assess where you are, where you've been, and really where do you want to go. And I have a complimentary session that I do, and I really invite people to take me up on that so that we can make the next year one of your best years.
Where can people reach you and book this complimentary session?
Go to my website, leaptoyoursuccess.com, and I have a downloadable Unstoppable Achievers journal that you can grab, but you can also book a call right there with me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your insights, your passion, and wishing everybody good luck in finishing the year with high flies.
Yes, thank you so much for having me as a guest. I love it.
Thank you for listening to Grow and Learn. We hope that you found our podcast informative, engaging, and inspiring. Our mission is to help you keep growing and learning, and we hope that our conversations and insights have provided you with practical advice and useful perspectives. If you're looking for personalized support and guidance to help you achieve your personal or professional growth objectives, I offer a range of services to help. As a trusted management partner and mentor, I work with businesses in the process of transformation, looking for new streams of business, as well as M&A. With an extensive professional network of experts and mentors, I can bring on board the right person or team based on the specific needs of the company I'm working with. To learn more about the services I offer and how I can help you achieve your goals, visit my website at grownlearn.org. You can also reach out to me via email or social media. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode of Grow and Learn, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback is important to us, and it helps us to continue to create content that is relevant and valuable to our listeners. Thanks again for listening, and we look forward to sharing more insights and perspectives with you in the future.